My name is Daniel. I'm 28 now, but this happened when I was 19, and it's the reason I will never sleep without a dog again. I grew up in a small town in northern Minnesota. Not totally middle of nowhere, but close enough that if you screamed at night, there was a good chance no one but the trees would hear you. Back then, I still lived with my mom in a one-story house at the edge of town. Our backyard touched a thick line of woods that everyone just called the strip. Deer came through sometimes, raccoons, the usual stuff. Hunters went deeper in during season, but the part behind our house always felt like a dark wall. We had one dog, a black lab named Cooper. Cooper was the kind of dog that makes you believe all that man's best friend stuff. Always happy, always wagging, slept on my feet when I played video games, barked at anyone who came within 10 feet of the property line. He was big, like 90 pounds, but he'd roll on his back for belly rubs like a baby. The story really starts in late October. Nights were getting colder, days shorter. The sun would go down and that strip of woods behind our place just turned into this solid black shape, like somebody had painted the back windows with ink. It was a Tuesday night, a little after midnight. My mom was on the night shift at the hospital, so it was just me and Cooper. I was in the living room playing some dumb online game, headset on, half a pizza on the coffee table. Cooper was snoring next to me on the couch. Then he woke up, not the slow sleepy wake up where they stretch and yawn. His head just popped up, ears straight, eyes wide. The kind of instant alertness that makes your stomach drop because animals do not do that for no reason. I pulled one side of my headset off. "What's up, buddy?" He didn't look at me. His eyes were fixed on the big sliding glass door that faced the backyard. The blinds were half open. From where I was sitting, I could see the patio and the first few dark shapes of trees. Cooper growled. It started low in his chest, this vibrating rumble I had never heard from him before. He wasn't a growly dog. Even with strangers he barked, but he didn't sound like that. I paused my game and stood up. "Okay, now you're freaking me out." I walked toward the door, squinting out into the dark. "Probably just a raccoon," I told him, more for myself than for him. The porch light was off, so all I could see was a reflection of the room behind me, plus a few pale smears of moonlight on the grass. That's when Cooper moved in front of me. He jumped off the couch, ran to the door, and put his whole body between me and the glass. His fur stood up in a ridge along his spine. He was still growling, louder now, lips pulled back just enough to show teeth. I'd never seen him do that to anything. Not the mailman, not strangers, not even that one time a drunk guy tried to cut through our yard. Something about the way he planted his feet, it was like he was saying, "You are not going past me." "Coop, come on," I said. I reached for his collar to gently move him aside so I could look. He whipped his head around and snapped. Not enough to bite me, his teeth closed right next to my hand. It was like a warning, "Don't." I yanked my hand back, heart racing. Okay, geez," he turned back to the glass. The growl dropped into this horrible, constant rumble. Every muscle in his body was tight. That's when I heard it. At first I wasn't sure what it was. The TV was still on low, the fridge humming in the kitchen. I had to hold my breath to really catch it. It was whistling, very faint, very slow, like someone way out in the woods was whistling a tune and the sound was bleeding through the trees. 4 notes, high, low, low, high. Over and over again I thought maybe it was the wind doing something weird, but the pattern was too exact. My scalp prickled. "Hello," I called because I'm an idiot. My voice sounded thin and shaky in the quiet room. The whistling stopped. Cooper went silent too, like someone had hit pause. For about 3 seconds nothing happened. Then something on the other side of the glass lightly tapped, just once. A small, careful sound, like a fingertip touching the window. My whole body went cold. Every instinct I had screamed at me not to move the blinds, not to lean closer, not to look. Cooper lost it. He exploded into barking, slamming his body against the glass with enough force to rattle it in the frame. His teeth snapped inches from the door. He was foaming, snarling, sounding more like a wolf than a friendly lab. I grabbed his collar with both hands and dug my heels into the carpet, yelling his name over and over. "Cooper, "Coop, stop. Stop." Whatever was out there didn't tap again. The whistling didn't come back. After about 30 seconds that felt like an hour, Cooper's barking turned back into growls, then whines. Finally, he let me pull him away from the door. He didn't relax, though. His eyes stayed locked on the glass, like he was watching something move away that I couldn't see. I turned on every single light in the house and closed the blinds. I kept Cooper next to me the rest of the night. I don't think either of us slept. In the morning, things felt less scary. Morning does that. Sun was out, birds making noise, my mom's car in the driveway. When she got home from her shift, I told her what happened. She gave me this tired look. "You probably scared yourself," she said. "You know how the woods sound at night. Maybe a branch hit the window." "Mom, he tried to bite me when I tried to look." "He's never done that," she scratched Cooper's head. "Maybe he finally got some sense. Who knows what kind of creeps are out in those trees at night," she laughed. I didn't. I waited until she went to bed, then went outside to check. In daylight, the backyard looked totally normal. Grass, patio, flimsy little lawn chairs. The line of trees was just trees again, not a big black monster. I stepped up to the sliding door and looked down at the concrete right where the tap had come from. There was a smudge on the glass about knee height. I wiped it with my sleeve. It came off easily, just a bit of grease or dirt, nothing special. Then I looked down. Right there on the concrete in front of the door were 3 footprints. Not shoe prints, bare feet. They were darker than the surrounding cement, like the ground had soaked in sweat or something. Toes, heel, everything. 3 steps leading directly away from the door toward the yard. After that, nothing. No prints in the grass, no crushed leaves, no trail. Just 3 bare human footprints on my porch in the middle of October in Minnesota, when the temperature at night was below freezing. I stared at them until my vision blurred. Cooper whined softly at my side, nudging my leg with his nose.
And action!
When I took a shaky step toward the trees, he moved in front of me again, blocking my path, pressing his body against my legs to push me back. "Okay," I whispered. "Okay, buddy, we won't go." We went inside. I didn't tell my mom about the footprints. I wish I could say that was the but the whistling came back 3 more times. Always late at night, always that same pattern. High, low, low, high. Every time Cooper would wake me before I consciously heard it. He'd jump off my bed and stand in the hallway, staring at the back door, body shaking, teeth bared. I never looked out again. Once I made the mistake of going to the bathroom without turning on the light, and from the window I saw something, standing just inside the tree line. Too tall, too thin, face wrong in a way my brain refused to focus on. Cooper slammed into the bathroom door so hard he nearly broke it off the hinges, barking his head off, snapping me out of it. He saved me from seeing more. I know that sounds weird, but that's the only way I can describe it. It was like the more I looked, the more I could feel something on the other side of those trees noticing me back. The last time it happened was on Halloween. Our town has this dumb thing where everyone goes to Main Street for candy, so houses at the edge of town are usually quiet. I stayed home with Cooper, watching horror movies, trying to pretend I wasn't just waiting for that damn whistle. Around 1 a.m. it came, 4 notes floating over the trees. Cooper was ready. He wasn't scared this time, he was furious. He barked once, deep and loud, then bolted for the back door. Before I could stop him, he threw himself at the glass again and again. I grabbed him, or tried to. He slipped out of his collar. He'd never done that before. "Coop, no," he looked back at me once. I swear to God, there was something like apology in his eyes. Then he hit the handle with his paws. The door slid open. Cold air rushed in, bringing that smell of wet leaves and something else, something sour underneath. Cooper shot out into the yard, full sprint. A black streak headed straight for the trees. I ran after him, screaming his name, but he was already halfway across the yard. The whistling stopped. For a heartbeat, there was nothing but my boots thudding on the grass and Cooper's claws tearing up the ground. Then the woods moved. You know how sometimes in the dark your eyes play tricks and things seem to shift? This wasn't that. The trees themselves stayed still, but there was this ripple between them. like the shadows had depth and something enormous had just leaned forward. Cooper hit the tree line and disappeared into the black. His barking turned into snarling, then yelps, then silence. A SHLEY, my mom's voice from the back door, half asleep, confused. What the hell are you doing? I stood there panting, staring into the darkness. I wanted to go after him, but my legs wouldn't move. Every instinct I had screamed that if I took one more step, if I crossed from grass to fallen leaves, I wasn't coming back. My mom grabbed my arm and yanked me toward the house. Get inside. Are you insane? Something's in there killing dogs. You want to be next. I hadn't told her about the other nights, but apparently other people's dogs had been disappearing too. We called Cooper's name until our voices were hoarse. He didn't come back. The next day we searched the woods with a couple of neighbors. We found nothing. No fur, no collar, no blood. The only thing we did find was about 30 feet into the trees, 3 bare footprints in the mud, same size, same shape, leading nowhere. We moved to an apartment in town a few months later. No more woods, no more sliding glass door. I haven't heard that whistle since. I've thought about getting another dog, but I can't. Because I know deep down Cooper didn't just randomly attack something in the trees. He chose to go out there. He chose to meet whatever was calling to us. He wouldn't let me look, wouldn't let me follow. I think, and maybe this is me trying to make it hurt less, I think he traded himself for me. And on some nights when the wind is just right, I swear I can hear faint whistling through the city buildings. High, low, low, high. When that happens, I close my curtains, put on headphones, and whisper, "Good boy, Cooper. Keep it out there."